Good morning, everybody. It is the 27th of October. We are Signal Centre Talking Bull. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Steve O'Hare. Good morning, Steve.
Morning, mate. I'm up on time. Or you're not doing it early this morning, so I'm with you.
No, you wasn't late yesterday. Just
didn't turn up.
No, it's fine. No problem at all.
All right, mate.
Okay, so we've got a few bits happening today, so we'll get stuck into the news first up. First of all, with regards to coronavirus in the UK, bloody coronavirus. UK reported its highest daily death toll from coronavirus since the beginning of March, which isn't good. So the government are being put under a bit of pressure to enact this Plan B that Boris has mentioned, which could include mandatory face coverings and a recommendation to work from home. There you go, Steve.
Sorted. Wow.
Yeah, I just hope this doesn't ruin my holiday because I'm set to go away on Friday, and
sugar,
could do without that really, because this holiday's been put off for 18 months.
Yeah.
We'll see. We've also got the budget today from the UK. Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, is likely to pocket most of the extra proceeds from a record rebound in Britain's economic growth as he delivers his annual budget on Wednesday. Output has recovered more than budget officials anticipated when they last released their forecasts in March, allowing Sunak to deliver what's likely to be the biggest upgrade in 4 decades of forecasting. So we'll be looking forward to what he has to say later today. That's pretty much it, really, on the news front. We do have some numbers out later from various US stocks. We've got Microsoft, Google. Was that yesterday, wasn't it? Microsoft, Google, and AMD managed to improve earnings compared with last year, so they're all ahead. Looking like there was a bit of a reversal yesterday on the Nasdaq, but we'll come on to those charts shortly. In fact, Steve, let's get stuck into the charts now. Is there anything that sort of caught your eye yesterday, or any place you want to start?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done a video on commodities, so oil, so I can fumble my way through there and talk about that. Really, the one that sort of caught my eye, I suppose, is natural gas, and reading a few headlines around really the reaction higher, which we see on this daily chart. Here we go. Let's measure it from. This is in 7 days, Joe. So this is like this time last week. A 25%, well, just under 23.5% uplift in price action from the low to the high. It has settled back a little bit now. So, but that's quite a decent reaction on the natural gas side of things. Obviously, this a lot to do with Russia. They're controlling that natural gas supply to Europe, and there's obviously people talking about, especially the American, the US administration, talking about Russia weaponizing natural gas in the terms of using it as a tool to negotiate whatever they want. So yeah, and obviously the bit of a cold snap as well we're seeing across Europe and the UK. I feel it. So yeah, there's demand will be going up for natural gas, and looks like there's obviously along with crude oil, or along with oil in particular, that sort of like people holding back on the supply as well. So it's from the natural gas side of things, it's had that spike higher, retraced over the last 24 hours, but still I think there's potentially more to the upside. There's a gap on the chart down at 560. Definitely would be looking to buy dips around there. This does look like a bit of a continuation pattern forming in natural gas. Crude oil, though, it looks to be stalling, but it always looks to be stalling. We've got this real sort of bearish divergence going on across multiple time frames. You know, you can see it. The weekly chart, we're getting a shooting star candle forming. I know it's Wednesday, and I know we've got oil inventory out later, so there is time for this to sort of like recover and push back higher. But I do think we're in the fifth and final wave of this impulsive move higher. On the daily chart, we can see that the volume, momentum, all moving lower while prices are moving higher. We've got another shooting star a couple of days ago, and positive day yesterday, but then the reaction lowered again today. I think if we do get a break of this 4-hour channel, then it will it will sort of lead to a more extended correction lower. And as you can see, the momentum dying down as prices are moving higher. So we've got levels to watch really on the WTI side of things. We've got support coming in at 82.63. We have resistance at 84.37 and $85. A nice round psychological number there. The main support I would say is, we win 80.50 to $81. So it's a little bit of a way off, but potentially we could see that today if we get a nice build in the inventories. 4-hour Ichimoku cloud and this bullish channel really supporting crude oil there. We can see it as well on the Brent crude oil, although we are a bit closer to support. 84.20 is the real supportive level there, and then we've got the cloud, which will offer multiple supports, and but the main one coming down to 82.73, so about $180 lower. Again, bearish divergence we can see. Just waiting for that to break really to sort of get on that. Looking at gold, we've had gold's been, just flicking back to Brent crude oil, actually, I just wanted to show the weekly chart where we still haven't cleared the 2018 highs. We have done in WTI, haven't done in Brent. That comes in at 86.62. And you can see the weekly chart last week, hanging man candle, so that's negative. So could lead to further bearish price action this week. That was just to finish off on that. Gold, we're in a bearish channel on the weekly chart, but it's part of a bigger formation, I believe, is a bullish flag. So as we've mentioned before, 1677, the real line in the sand on the downside, should be pretty supportive there. 1834 on the upside, we can see it on the daily chart a bit clearer. We can see this 4 times we've rejected levels here. We are building quite nicely and look to be sort of kicking on quite aggressively, trying to get above this 1814 resistance, but ran into a bit of a wall yesterday, and bearish engulfing candle formed. Price action actually got down to 1783 before bouncing. Trading just above there, 1787. I know I was looking to short this, I can't remember if it's Friday or Monday, and got stopped out in it, but yeah, looks like this was the move I was looking for. Still potential for further downside, I think, in gold. I don't think we've quite finished. I think we need to really post another higher low before I'm more confident about this projecting and moving higher. But yeah, for me, there's still opportunity for dollar strength. So gold will be will not benefit from dollar strength. It will sort of like be under pressure until we shake off that strength. Looks like we could be forming a little bit of a bottom in silver as well. It got up to 24.87. I expect to find decent resistance up there now. Bearish engulfing candle yesterday, looks like a shooting star a few days ago. So I'm sure we can, if we can manage to get below 23.87, the pressure will be on silver as well. So watch out for that. Moving on to the cryptos. Going to try and move on to the cryptos. Yeah, Bitcoin 60,000 level. This is the formation I'm looking at. I did a video on it yesterday. It's on the YouTube channel if you want to check it out. We've got a new high at 67,000, which was formed on the 20th of October. We've got what looks like a head and shoulders formation, which is one of my favorite formations, and it looks to be playing out really nicely. We've seen volume sort of dropping off in this rally, so it's quite a classic one in terms of the technicality of it. And also we formed a bearish engulfing candle yesterday. Price action has also rejected at least a 50% retracement of the previous day's price action, so that's negative as well. So really looking at this 60,000, just below here would be the clear break, a break of 59,000, and we are off to the races. The measured move target for Bitcoin would be a move back down to around about 52,000. The swing low from the 10th of October could also provide a little bit of a assistance when trying to work that out. Let's get some Fibonacci lines on there as well, as it is looks like it's playing out really nicely. 61, and yeah, so 61.8%, bang on. That's where we're heading, or that's what looks likely to be the easiest path. As I say, it's really played out nicely. I'm very bearish once we do get a break of this neckline. Remember, it's not a head and shoulders formation. It's only a potential head and shoulders formation until we get that break and confirmation. And also the thing that's really making me question this rally has been how the other coins are performing. Cardano, obviously, it had this like real spike high that we saw up to 310 since the sell-off. And as Bitcoin has projected higher, this has just gone sideways. It's flatlining. Ripple flatlining. And Ethereum has been the only one really that I've felt that I've been watching has gone with it. But that has failed to make a new all-time high and is rejected, has been rejecting over the last few days. So yeah, for me, jury's still out. I feel like unless we get some big fish come in or some big whale come in and supporting Bitcoin, we're very likely to have a decent 10-20% correction over the coming week. There you go. I've said it.
Wow, you've called it.
I called it. Yeah,
you're going to have a lot of haters now, Steve.
I know. Don't take it personally, guys. You know, I'm sure it'll get to 100,000 one day.
I was looking through our Bitcoin ideas on our TradingView site.
Oh yeah.
And the only ones that get comments are when you sell it.
Oh really? Is
yeah, because they hate it. Yeah, you know, they're just like, why are you selling it? How dare you sell it?
Yeah, I mean,
Hodl.
yeah, because there does feel like there's a lot of. It feels like the younger generation trader are definitely sort of like a buy and hold and just sort of like, you know, dreaming of it, you know, hitting the heady heights of, I don't know, 100,000, a million, 100 million, billion, whatever, and that's which will make them multimillionaires overnight. That's what they sort of like seem to be clinging on to, that thought. They'll realise one day. So anyway, so what have we done in FTSE? FTSE's looking pretty good. We've taken out the resistance level that we've been forming with the 3 peaks that we've had here at 72.23. 3 peaks. 72.72 trading as we speak. So looks primed for a further push higher. Obviously, earnings season looking pretty good so far.
Just a caveat. Obviously, we've got the budget today, so
budget
smudge it,
mate.
Budget smudge it, yeah. Or maybe it could be a big old trap.
Yeah, maybe. Highs. Yeah, I mean, I suppose on the daily chart we're getting a little bit of bearish divergence. But yeah, it's pretty difficult to argue from the bearish side of things at the moment with FTSE.
Budget smudge it and Corona Mona. It's
like it.
Yeah, don't worry about Plan B.
Yeah.
Plan A is new highs, mate.
Yeah, exactly. 71.78 is the support level in FTSE. Yeah, it's like, where else would it go? So DAX, we had a potential head and shoulders formation, hasn't closed below the neckline, so it hasn't formed. So we may have to sort of get rid of this, especially if we get a break of 15,800. For me, this could turn into a complex formation because, as you see on the left, we've got 2 left shoulders, potentially 2 heads. Are we just forming the second right shoulder? So just drag this over here. We've still got that potential there. We've broken out from this short-term channel. So look at the 4-hour chart, see if it gives us any real clues. Nice real inverse type head and shoulder pattern, which is breaking up from. So looks like we are heading towards them heady heights, the all-time highs coming in of just above 16,000. No real reason why we can't get up there. Bit of a, oh, let's get rid of that. Bit of a channel forming on the short-term chart. Is this a bullish flag? Potential for extension higher? Possibly, yes. As I say, I wouldn't back against the indices at the moment. You'd be a fool, man. On the, let's see where are we going, Steve? Where are you going with this? Price label, all-time highs, 35,892 in, is that all-time highs? I think it is.
Yep.
In in the Dow. No holding this bad boy back.
No.
I keep trying to knock it down with these little red arrows at the top, but
not working, is it?
No, the buy and the dip gang are taking it seriously and pushing it higher. Obviously, we've had a pretty extensive move. What have we done since the pandemic really hit?
We've just gone up in a straight line.
It's 100%.
Is that it?
Is that all? 100% move from the March 2020 lows.
Look at the Nasdaq.
It's yeah. I mean, what is that then?
What pandemic?
Pandemic, schmandemic. 136% uplift from the swing lows. And I keep trying to sell it. What am I doing?
Look at the candle yesterday, though.
Yeah, I mean that is like scary, isn't it? Love it because it did it form a
Bang
new
on the
high?
highs.
It did. It took out the high. Love it, and rejected. So this is the top, boys. I mean, how can you ever argue against this? It's a big bubble. That's it. That's all. I'm going to get rid of all my lines. Actually, it's a big bubble, ladies. We had this. Obviously, we had this measured move. We expected it to move to 15,603. What was that? Was that a inverse head and shoulders? I don't know even why that arrow's there. I could probably find it on our shorter term charts. But yeah, it could be. It's a bubble. That's what I'm going to say. And you can moan at me for saying it, but I'm not going to not say it. It's a bubble. But the bubble could get bigger before it bursts. So that's the caveat. 4,600 on the S&P 500, and that's still looking pretty good. So they all look on the front foot, really. But yeah, just be careful with that. Cool. Aussie 200, just have a little look at that. That's reacting higher as well, in line with the US. China 50 still under a bit of pressure. 14,500 is the break level that I'm waiting for. That will confirm the breakdown and a decent move lower. Looking for about a 30% drop off in that, really, if that plays out. Hang Seng rejecting overnight. It's moved lower overnight, and Nikkei holding up quite nicely at the moment, but yeah, it just feels a little bit. I don't know if you can help us out with the FX. Give us a little bit more direction on that, Joe.
I can try. Let's have a quick look. So dollar index had a decent bounce. Let's have a quick look at that. So remains within this bullish channel. Decent couple of up days really that we've seen. A bit of an engulfing 2 days ago, and we saw a continuation higher. Bit weaker today, but ultimately I still think it's going to be range bound between this 93.43 to 94.47 level. I am anticipating a break out of this at some point to complete a really large bottom pattern on the daily chart. So 94.74 really is the key level, I think, which is this swing high from back here on the 25th of September last year. So above that, looking for a continuation high within this bullish channel, which, dollar moving higher, which would suggest, risk off. But we're not seeing that in the indices. And, at some point, one of these is going to buckle, and I'm not sure which it's going to be, really. Looking at FX pairs linked to this, we've got euro US dollar, which is failing at the resistance at 116.64. Couple of moves to the downside following the recent retest of that level at 16.64. So looking for lower prices there, really. We've still got this head and shoulders top pattern, which is looming pretty large over the price action. The measured move target is down here at 110.59. So still think lower prices are likely here over the medium term. If we look at cable, this is being sort of contained within this short-term downtrend. Price action still remains pretty choppy. If you look at this candle yesterday, though, that is not a nice-looking candle at all. So we attempted to get above these highs, didn't work out, and we actually closed posting what looks to be a bit of a gravestone doji there, which would signify the death of the move. So potentially a move lower could play out from there, but it's a big day for sterling. Obviously, we've got the UK budget today, so be careful if you are looking at that. ultimately for me, I still think it's a case of selling into rallies despite the sort of mixed signals that we're getting on the daily chart at the moment. If we take a look at the riskier assets, Aussie US dollar, that still remains above this support level, which was previous resistance, now turned support at 74.77. And while above that, I think there is scope for the price to move in this direction. That's despite there being, for me, ongoing dollar strength potential, but it's not been able to outdo what we're seeing on these commodity currencies at the moment. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, similar situation. It's broken out of this wedge. It sort of encountered this cluster of resistance levels between 71.21 to 71.64. Not really been able to maintain above that just yet, but again, mixed signals. And I think given the break of that wedge, we could see higher prices there. But it feels a little bit fragile, really. I think, if there is any sort of scariness that emerges, or dash to safer haven assets, then these currencies could take a bit of a whack on the back of that. Anything linked to the yen still very weak. We've got Aussie yen up at these highs again, failing to take out this previous high actually at 85.80. So far today we're posting a bit of a reversal. Not sure I want to commit to the long side of that. I still favour selling rallies, and I think from a risk reward perspective, having a stop above those recent highs, targeting a move back down to these sort of support zones is sort of where my thinking is really at the minute. So I think that's potentially something worth looking at. I might even take a look at that on the gun to the head trade ideas today. Euro yen, that's stalling as well a little bit. So euro not sort of managing to put on much strength, and there's a tiny bit of a fight back in the in the yen at the moment. Dollar yen, what's that looking like? Still up at its highs, again not able to take out this big level at 114.32, which goes all the way back to 2017 as a relevant level. So yeah, I don't know. I think yen needs to have a little bit of a bounce back, really, just to sort of correct, some of the weakness that we've seen in this lately. But who knows? Not much clearer, unfortunately, at this point. So that's it from me on the FX.
Nice one, thanks, Joe. People I think the big fishes might be watching this stream, Joe.
Yeah, big dogs.
So. The big fishes, yeah. Bitcoin just broken down through that level.
Oh, right. Steve,
got down
you're influencing the market.
58,000. I'd love to be an influencer.
People are going to start calling us manipulators.
Shirt from John Lewis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Headphones
nice
from
drop
Jabra.
Okay, come to the head trade from yesterday. It was only me, and I tried to call the top in oil, and it didn't work out, Steve. I got stopped out on that for a 1 hour loss. So yeah, dust myself down. I'm going to go again today. Anything that you fancy as a trade today?
Yesterday I fancied selling gold. That
Yeah.
worked. Can't really count it though. Well, as I've sort of had such a huge influence on the market, I'm going to sell Bitcoin.
That looks like a nice looking head and shoulders, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Obviously, I wanted to sell it a little while ago, but Joe kept talking. Right, let's try and keep it around rounded numbers. 58,700. I'm going to have a stop at 60,000, just above there, 60,200. And I'm going to go for the big one, 4-to-1 risk reward on this, Joe. Stop's pretty tight, obviously, in terms of Bitcoin. That's only a 1 hour bar I'm putting the stop at. So yeah, and within about 4 or 5 hours, this should hit the target. You know how it works with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Target is 52,700, so that's in front of the support, 51,000, 52,000 support. Yeah, I'm going for that. That's it. That's what we say. Sell it. 58,700. Stop at 60,200. Target in 52,700. 4-to-1 risk reward.
Good luck, mate. I'm going to go head on against Rishi Sunak today. So we've got the budget in the UK,
Nice.
so I expect cable to be pretty volatile. This is the hourly chart. Looks like it's forming a bit of a range, potential to break down. So I'm going to do a preemptive move on this and sell it now. Currently trading at 137.52. I'm going to have a generic, which I hate doing this, by the way, so don't follow this, 50 tick stop. And I'm going to target a move lower. Trying to try and get a measured move out of this range down to 136.50. So 2R, rubbish. I was hoping for a bit more than that. Let's just go with that anyway. 2R, looking for target 136.50, stop 138.02.
Lovely. Well done.
Okay, so data out today. As we've said, we've got the budget later. Not sure what time it's actually due out. It's not on my calendar, but we've got US durable goods from 130. Orders expected to fall 0.2% month on month and rise 0.4%, excluding transportation orders. We've got a Bank of Canada policy decision. No change in the 0.25% rates expected. That's at 3 p.m. And then at 3:30, we have the US weekly EIA crude inventories number. Previous week saw stockpiles fall by 400,000 barrels. So we will be keeping an eye on those numbers later today. Anything to add, Steve?
No, just be careful out there. Expecting a bit of a volatile one, I think.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, have a great day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
Cheers.